What to say to get your boyfriend back. Here is how you go about it without making a mess of it. When you have determined that your ex-boyfriend is the guy you want to hang out with and there is no one quite like him, then you have to get him back without you looking miserable. There are ways you can do it, but most important will be the words you use to get him back. You don't want to sound desperate and needy. Here are 7 steps that will show you the way. Do you have a convincing reason? You will have to first determine the reason you want him back in your life. If the reason is love and feelings, then you sure can go ahead and try to win him back. Any other reason will sound phony and frivolous, and he may not pay heed to your efforts. You have to show a genuine interest in him for what he is. Are you ready to change a few things? You can't expect him to come back to you if you and the dynamics of the relationship remain the same as before. You very well know what he did not approve of in the first place, and if you are ready to change them, then only think of approaching him. How do you approach him? To approach him, you will first have to look good and not like a bus just hit you head on. Get a handle on your emotions and look cheerful and happy. Even though you are hurting on the inside, you will have to show that you are in good spirits. Renew the contact, get back to being his friend. This should not be difficult if you two parted ways in a friendly manner. If not, then wait for a few weeks before you begin making overtures to him. If you have to tell him that you want him back, then you do need to be his friend. Once that is done, you are ready to tell him that you want to be a couple once again. Where do you approach him? You will have to time your approach and select your venue very carefully. A bar that is full of sorry men and needy women will be a bad idea. Approach him when he is in a sober mood and when he is alone. Greet him pleasantly and talk of issues of mutual interest. Get to the point. Once the discussion has been initiated, broach the topic of your breakup and tell him that you feel sorry that it happened. Tell him that you realize you drove him to a point where he had to call it quits. Tell him that in spite of all that you still want him back in your life and that you are ready to make the sacrifices he expects from you. A tear or two in your eyes will most certainly help. Apologize without sounding desperate. Once he gets thinking about it, tell him that you sincerely regret the breakup and would like to give the relationship another try. Don't wait for an answer and make an exit after having said this much. If you hang around, you will look needy and desperate.